Hey y'all. Today we have for you 5 similarities between present day and the movie Contagion.
And we're also going to give you our thoughts on the movie. You ain't asked for them, but you're going to get them.
That comes in as a bonus.
Oh, what are we eating today, babe?
We're eating Freddy's steak burgers.
Burgers and fries. Oh, show me the cheese curds.
I gotta get the cheese curds in there.
Can you see it? Can y'all see it? Can y'all
Yeah.
see that though?
There we go.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that close, but okay. Alright.
All aboard!
Cheers!
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Now, let's eat.
So the movie was filmed in 2011, and our first similarity between present day and the movie, they had the disease starting in China, and it came from bats.
Yeah, so for the movie, the way that they set it up is, I guess the MEV is what ends up being the virus. It starts in Hong Kong, to be exact.
Hong Kong.
Where?
Oh wait, spoiler alerts. First, we forgot to say that. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert. Still watch this video though, but just, yeah.
But technically the movie's been out like 9, 10,
Okay,
whatever
and I
years,
just
so
saw
it's
it.
just like, well, I mean, yeah, that's a point, but it's still, like you're spoiling something that's been out for a while.
Okay.
But anyway, but bringing it back to the first point of location, the movie has it set to, it started in Hong Kong, which is in China. The COVID was said to have started in Wuhan.
COVID-19 started in Wuhan, China.
Yeah, so
So they said.
that would be true. That would be the first similarity. All right, so it brings us to our second point, which would be the transmission of the actual disease itself, as well as a part of the movie that I didn't necessarily care for. So the entire movie goes through, and at the very end of it, like the last 2 or 3 minutes, they show the way that the whole thing got started, which to me just seemed like it was an afterthought. Like they made the movie and it was like, oh wait, we never showed anybody how this actually happened. Let's go and do it.
The overall pacing was like someone fast forwarded the plot and paused it, then they rewound it a little bit and they fast forwarded and stopped. Like the whole plot was just choppy.
Yeah,
Like,
it was fast paced, but fast paced going kind of nowhere. So it was like you're in a rush to not get anywhere, and it's like certain scenes were just, but to the point itself though. So they show trees being cleared, then they show a bat on bananas and plantains. He then takes that, and then later they show the scene where he's hanging from the ceiling inside of a building over a pig pen, and he drops a piece of the banana down. The virus of the banana, the virus of the bat and the pig get together. I guess when they eat it, mutates, and from that you get the MEV C1, I think it is.
You lost me. But it went through a bunch of channels and it got to a chef in China, and then the lady from wherever she was from got it. It was just so annoying. Whatever. Yeah. But that's how things really spread. It's really crazy how so many different channels and we're all connected, and it was really eye-opening to think about.
And it was even from something that simple, and that was why it was similar, because it really could happen that way.
Yeah.
The guy was in the kitchen doing the pig, instead of washing his hands after he was done messing with the pig, which you're a chef in a kitchen.
No better.
Like, yeah, that should
like,
be
touching raw pork and then you just Rub it in your shirt? That does nothing. Yeah. Wash your hands. Soap
so
and
that
water,
should have been
people.
like the first thing that
Jeez.
automatically was a flag in his head, but he went out and shook a woman's hand, which ended up being Gwyneth Paltrow, which is kind of the start of how the disease enters America. But as far as COVID, I don't know if they have a specific, like, pinpointed how it got from its start to how it got over here. But I mean, diseases can transfer that easily. Another good point that I was thinking of, they had too for the transmission was, it's not a word that you hear a lot, but like fomites.
Yeah. Just like COVID now.
Yeah, so I mean, the fomite is basically just the surface that's been infected that somebody else comes near. You use something that somebody's infected they have, and you got to pick it up no matter what it is. You touch it, anything, and that's instant transfer. Like
any infected object, pretty much, is a fomite. It's crazy. Just want to walk around with Lysol, clean everything around. So our third point in similarity. What? Oh, so our third point, it happened around the holidays. I think that's crazy how this movie that was made like 19 years ago has the same location that COVID started in, the same symptoms somewhat, and it has it starting around the same time, like in October-November time frame, something like that. It's like, that's so weird. Like, what? Same place, same symptoms, same time.
And it was kind of interesting to see.
Theory.
There she goes with them theories. But I just thought it was interesting too, was watching it, the fact when that woman was talking about the whole store thing. It's just like when they were deciding whether or not to bring it out to the people.
When she said this is the biggest shopping holiday of the weekend or something.
Yeah.
Biggest shopping weekend of the year.
Yeah.
I wonder if they knew about it earlier and they didn't want to alarm people, because obviously Christmas, Black Friday, that time period is one of the largest shopping times of the year. Interesting.
That's what I said. And with COVID, it, like the time that you keep hearing about when it started keeps getting pushed back, because at first it was in December, then it might have been in November, and I've even heard some reports say that it was as far back as October that it was around. So
interesting. Contagion.
Which brings us to number 4.
Number 4.
I should do the same thing. Yeah.
No, because it looked like you were like, I didn't know what you were doing. That, I don't know, I was in a different world. Number 4
is the symptoms. So, in the movie, sweating, like a lot of heavy, profuse sweating, headaches, let's see, what were some of the others?
Cough.
Yeah, a lot of people had a heavy cough and sore throat, which are symptoms that we have with COVID, as well as they showed in the movie. A couple of the symptoms that they showed was, like, a lot of people were foaming at the mouth, and
now COVID don't do that yet. Hopefully,
yeah,
hopefully
that's something
never.
that was different. Yeah, that would be crazy. And the people were having, some of them looked like they were having seizures. So that was another thing that currently hasn't been, that hasn't happened with COVID.
Well, spread never does.
Yeah, definitely that. Number 1. All right, so I'm gonna set my food down for a second just to read, not on a comparison level, but more, I guess, on a serious note. Some of the things that I saw was emergency warning signs that they have. persistent pain or pressure in the chest, bluish lips or face, which normally means a lack of oxygen, sudden mental confusion. Those were some of the emergency warning signs that they have. If any of those things show, then we have some of our less common ones I was looking at too that could possibly mean that you might have it or something is not right. People were experiencing flu and cold-like symptoms, headaches, digestive issues, and body aches or fatigue.
So if you have any of these symptoms, please seek medical attention as soon as possible. Now that PSA is done, we are into our 5th and final point: false cures and unproven remedies. So in the movie, they also, what was it, Forsythia, I think he called it?
Forsythia.
Jude Law, his character. First of all, his teeth in that movie. Why did the director choose those teeth? Why? What was the purpose? Why? Why did you have to mess up that man like that? Why? Anyway, in the movie, Jude Law's character has these little dropper bottle of what he calls Forsythia, and it's a fake cure, I guess. Like, that was the part about the movie I didn't like. Like, was he actually sick when he was taking the little drops, or was he just acting for his blog, or what?
Yeah, that was another thing. I agree with you. I didn't like that either, because they had it initially where he was talking about the cure for it, and then he did a little video himself. And in the video, the way he looked, like he looked like he was
sick.
Somewhat ill.
Yeah.
But he was talking about taking it, and if he's alive the next day, then it would have worked. Mm-hmm. And then you fast forward to later on in the movie, and he ends up getting detained. They said that they tested him and that he never had it to start. But by that point, like 12 million people had viewed his stuff. People were he made a whole bunch of money from it. So I was like, did he really actually have it, or is he just showing some of the things that people do in instance to kind of like prey on people?
It lost me. There's just so many little things in the movie that weren't right. They just all added up to just.
But bring the comparison of
the present day.
Yeah, the point that she made with Forsythia.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the closest thing I can think of now that we would have is chloroquine. Not saying that it's not good, not saying that it won't work, and not saying that it's not heading in the right direction.
We're not doctors, people. We're not telling you to take it or don't take it.
But it was one of those that was kind of being pushed and, saying that it could work, that it was the cure, that it's good. But that would lead to more of the unproven side. It hasn't done its time frame yet to actually prove that it could help the symptoms, that it's not going to later come back and cause worse. So, just going to the unproven remedy stage of it. And then not to mention, a lot of people have, well, not a lot, but people have made videos saying that, I have a cure and I can do this and the other, and people generally just kind of jump towards that because they want to make
scared.
But yeah, that's basically preying on people's fear, which is a horrible thing to do. But that would be all right. So that was our 5 similarities that we had between now and the movie that came out in 2011. Anything that, like, what was your thoughts about the movie? Like, anything stand out to you?
Oh, I got a list. Well, first I'm going to start off positive. The fact that the movie is, 9 years, almost 10 years old, and it still has relevance, or it now has relevance, I think that's cool when a work of art can sustain time. So there's the first positive of it.
And I agree with you there, because that was one of the things I looked at too. Like, had I seen the movie or even heard of it when it came out, I probably wouldn't have thought as much about it, because in general the movie itself kind of wasn't the greatest. But being in a situation that's similar to what they have in the movie, like with all the stuff going on with COVID right now, you do have more of an appreciation for, you know, the director's extra work that
wow, they actually got
did.
That right.
And, yeah, his studying, you know, with the CDC and, you know, all that kind of stuff that they were doing in it. It's just like, oh, okay, well, and that's not something that most people generally look into, like, oh, what would happen if, you know, this, and they have procedures and stuff that's already set that they do automatically, but it's not something it's not like your leisure reading for the day.
True. Let's start from the beginning of the movie. Who eats public peanuts? She was sitting in the airport and it was like at the bar, a little bowl of peanuts or some type of nuts there. Who eats those? People actually eat, maybe it's just me, I don't eat them because I'm a germaphobe. But just the thought of they're just sitting out all day, people talking over it, spitting over it, laughing, crying over it, sitting out all day, hundreds of people, not washing their hands, putting their hands in there. Like, who does that?
And until seeing that in the movie, I had actually forgot that they did it because
actually, like bar nuts and stuff. Like, you can bring me my own fresh, you know, little hand thing or whatever, but no.
Yeah, that's not like the burger place where you have the actual full peanuts and you crack them yourself and you eat the center.
Yeah, because at least that's kind of covered. But, and then another part that stands out to me also in the beginning portion, when the people were just starting to get sick, it sucks that in this day and age we still have to keep pushing instead of being able to take care of ourselves. Like, it was, I think, a model, and obviously she was sick, but if she doesn't go out to these go-sees, she won't be able to work. But yet she's also infecting all these people, all these hundreds of people that she's coming in contact with. Like, it sucks. Like, that needs to change. Without getting all philosophical, I'm going to keep that to myself. But I mean, it needs to change.
That is a valid point. I mean, that in actuality, that could have been used as one of our similarities. Because, like, now we have the people that are deemed essential workers versus those that are deemed non-essential. So stuff is going on, everything is happening, no matter what kind of job you have, what you're doing, you still have to get up and go to work. Now it's just an added layer of precautions you gotta take. You gotta do this mask, you gotta remember all these extra procedures. So I mean, there is really, and I understand why it's set up that way, because I mean, the economy still needs to go, and people still need to work, and we still need money, which is probably a whole nother.
That's a whole nother that's channel. Like, not even that's a whole nother channel. Getting into that.
It's like even getting me started on that kind of stuff is just something that you'll probably end up seeing down the line. But yeah, that's a different time, different place. Yeah. But that's a very good point. We could have actually used that one.
I know, that's why I said it. Another scene that comes to mind, I think they were in Japan and the guy collapsed on the bus and started foaming at the mouth. Like, I think maybe one person went to help him and another person like has his phone out and he's recording. It's like, this man could be dying and you're recording. Like, people don't think about, well, not all, but some people don't think about like the repercussions of that. Like, what if his family member sees that video before they're notified that he passed? And then what? Like, that would be horrible to find out that your son or husband died by seeing a video on YouTube or seeing it pop up on Facebook. Like, I think that's so horrible.
And I've seen where a lot of things are heading, because I mean, a lot more people are recording stuff versus helping.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. And it's like, at the very least, what they could have did was like called 911 or call for help.
Yeah, call 911. They record if you have to record.
Like, if you like the very least.
But no, just recording and posted it to like World Star or whatever he posted it on. It's like.
So did they have World Star?
I don't know. It's just really popped in my head. It wasn't like he was recording it to give to the police. He recorded it and posted it. It's like, ay.
It's funny, but that. Actually, you saying that made me think about one of the scenes in the movie that I didn't like. Okay, so and before I get to that point, it was just weird too thinking about it. Like, they had quite a few stars in the movie, And for them to have that many, like, I don't know.
I think they're B-list stars. You say they're A-listers.
Some of them might have been A-list. It depends on what time period they made their movies.
2011, they might.
They had a lot of people that were stars in there, and it's just like, and it just didn't click. But anyway, the point though was the scene. I don't know if you remember, but Gwyneth Paltrow's character had already passed. The woman that was from Titanic, what's her name? Kate Winslet. So Kate Winslet's character had got a hold of one of the people that she thought was that could have been infected, and she's talking to him on the phone, and he happened to be on a bus.
Yeah.
And the ending result of their conversation was she told him, "Don't talk to anybody. Get off the bus. You know, don't touch anything because you could be infected." Which to me, I don't know if that's actual protocol or procedure, but you're going to take something that you deem infected, separate it from something that could possibly be being infected, to go outside amongst a lot of other people in a space that they don't really have. Like that part didn't make any sense.
Like, I get that they don't want to cause mass hysteria, but you also should protect the people that were possibly exposed to it. So she says get off the bus. I feel they should have stopped the bus, quarantined all the people on that bus, sanitized the bus, and then, you know, put it back out for rotation after it's been sanitized. But no, they were like, just get off the bus. He's touching the poles as he's getting off. He's coughing, and then he's sitting at the bus stop infecting those people waiting for the next bus also. It's like, what, you want people to get sick? Like, what was that?
Yeah, that is very true.
Alright, so another point with Kate Winslet. When she first arrived to the, I think, was it Minnesota that she went to? I don't remember. I didn't pay attention to little details like that. Whatever. When she arrived in, I think, Minnesota, then as soon as she gets off the plane, her co-worker is basically saying to her, "I hope you brought more than just that. I don't want you to be cold." And I felt like that was foreshadowing, like showing how ill-prepared she was. And then she obviously ends up getting sick and dying. But another point was after she was infected, and she's laying next to another sick man, and he's like, "Can I get another blanket? I'm so cold, I'm so cold." And then the lady goes to try to find one for him, and they show her handing her coat to him. Well, she was so weak she couldn't actually give the coat to him, but she handed her coat over. And I feel like that was almost symbolic of the healthcare workers today. Like, they're sacrificing so much, and like, when is enough enough? One. Two, like, I don't know, I just felt like that was a really moving scene to me. Because I always look deeply into stuff, but that's just me. So yeah, nobody else probably saw it, just me.
I saw it, but you know, I thought you were going somewhere else.
Where?
I thought you were going to go when you were talking about Kate Winslet's character. I thought you were going to talk about, like, they had different people from the CDC and the WHO that was going out to, you know, find out what's going on, find out about it, more the origins of it and all that stuff. But a lot of them themselves wasn't actually wearing masks and wearing gloves. Like, you're going into an area that you know is infected, but you don't have the stuff on yourself, which is probably what led to her getting sick in the first place. Yeah. But that's where I thought you were going to go with it.
I mean, I kind of went there too, but not fully. The other part really stood out to me more though. Like her giving her coat
to
the guy in need. Like, you have to have a certain personality, I feel, to be a good healthcare worker, because you are putting yourself on the front lines. You are giving of yourself, and a lot of times you're giving more than the average, obviously, because you're right in the front lines helping people.
Yeah, pretty much. Just like everybody else, or a lot of people get a chance to run whatever direction, scattered, and this is like things like where it's like, oh no, we need you to come in because you got this skill. We need.
You have to run towards the danger while everybody else is running away from the danger. Yeah. So like all first responders, police officers, all of them, healthcare workers, everybody. Yeah. We see you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I guess it seemed like quite a bit about the movie. We just didn't really care for it.
It was a lot good, but a lot bad.
I think it was probably more bad than good. But I guess the last point I'll think of that scene that kind of stood out in my mind was They had a lady, I can't think of her character name or her actual name, that worked for the WHO, and she was trying to find out what happened in the area in Hong Kong where it originated, and she ended up getting basically kidnapped by somebody who had wanted the cure for their family, their village, the people that they had left, and they kidnapped her because they figured, okay, well, we have her, so then they'll give it to us. But come to find out, like fast forwarding to the end of it, they gave them what they thought was a cure, but was actually placebos, and she gets the real cure after they came up with the vaccine and everything for it. But after the guy tells her that, okay, well, here's your real cure, she's like, but I took something. He's like, no, that was a placebo. And then all of a sudden, her character just gets up, walks
out of frame.
Gets up, walks, and then it's just like
what?
And it's just like
we don't get an update on her.
Yeah,
we don't know
nothing
if they all
happened.
died or if she was able to make a cure from the one she had or what. She just walks off.
Yeah, it's like, I assumed that she was still in the airport, but we don't know that. We don't know if she got a plane, went back, if she even had the number to get a hold of the dude. It's just like, and that was one of the main characters, because she was like the main character from the World Health Organization, like from that particular side of it, and she's like just gone. So it's just like that was that didn't make any sense. But then the other part was the fact that there was like people either died or they didn't have a sensible ending. It was just something I didn't like about the movie.
Yeah, another part where they just fast forwarded past. They're like, oh crap, we forgot this. Whatever. It's just
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
And it wasn't even sections where it was left open for interpretation. Like, you can come up with something that's good. It's just, no.
So we don't care anymore. Next. It's like, oh, okay, that's how you feel, okay.
Pretty much.
But whatever.
Yeah, that kind of.
That happened.
Yeah. I can't say I strongly would recommend the movie to anybody, but I could probably come up with other stuff. But
and if you're quarantined, it's something to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is not a very good way of describing anything. It's like she has a nice personality. But
Hey. Anyway,
but
I'm
yeah,
done talking.
I don't have anything else.
You don't have anything. You done?
Yeah, I'm
Done eating.
I'm done.
So subscribe to our channel at Choo Choo Eats, and let us know what you thought about the movie. Do you agree with our thoughts? Do you think we're crazy? I'm sure they think we're crazy. I'm
not even gonna ask that question.
I don't even know what I asked. But what do you think? Do you agree with what we said?
Do you have any
not?
answers?
Yeah.
Any of the
explain
things
it to
that
us.
we
Maybe
didn't
we
get
just
that you
missed
may
it.
know? Like, you tell me where the girl ended up at. Like, what really happened there?
Let us know. All right. Bye.
All aboard!
You were really loud. You threw me off. Please don't be that loud again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So where are we cutting for it? Ready? Ready?
I'm just doing choo choo, right?
Yes.
Jesus. Okay. So the movie was filmed in 2011, and in the first point. All right. So okay. So our fifth and final point. False cures and